How's everyone doing? You here? Hey, I'm on my phone. Hey, Jennifer. Yes, there seems to be a little bit of issues with the connection. Let me see if I can fix it. Oh, it's buffering. Okay. Oh God, James. Don't say it. Okay, let me see. Okay, let me just try something and we will see. Yes. Oh, thank you, Allison. Is that better? I think it may be better now. Thank you, guys. And thank you for, liking and sharing this. It's better? Yes. Yay, we got it. Let's hope it continues that way. I will try to be doing these. Hey, Craig. To be doing these lives every. Okay. How about now, guys? Is it better? Yes, it's better. Okay, great. Great. I'm not moving from this location. Okay, awesome. Wonderful. Okay, yes. Hey, Earth Angel. How are you guys? Oh my God, it has been like so crazy. The energies the last couple of days. I actually wanted to do a full moon ceremony, but I was so wiped out energetically, like seriously, I couldn't move. And I spoke to a couple of other friends and people, and everyone had very extreme experiences. So I hope everyone made it through the gate all right. And I hope you guys are feeling okay and you're feeling good. We're still under the influence of the full moon, so we will still harness the energies of yesterday, but we will actually focus them on something good. We're going to use them as a very powerful source to clear and to release anything that may be, in our bodies that needs to go. Even resistance to the new path that is, opening before us, even resistance to who we know we are and who we are transforming into, and resistance to good things also starting to happen, right? Sometimes we can even get used to, just being in this constant battlefield that we have been in, basically as light workers. And so now it's also about knowing and grounding the energies, and knowing that we're not going back. Like there is no way back. We are ascending and we are going into higher frequencies each moment. So everything in our life will start to mirror that. It's just a matter of time. And of course, we always have cycles, and there's also, you know, the law of karma and the lessons that we need to learn through our lives here. But there's just a different like background energy, and I have been talking about this for a long time now. But I feel like we're starting to feel right now, especially after the conjunction on solstice, we're starting to feel this energy taking off. Like we're starting to feel it in our bodies, and we are doing a lot of healing. And we're doing a lot of adjusting to these new energies as well. So today I wanted to talk about. It was brought to my attention because I realized that I haven't talked about, our sexual energy and our life force energy and what that actually has to do with our whole spiritual journey and our ascension path, and how to manage these things. Because I believe that as we go through the spiritual path and we start to become more aware, it is only natural that we take that awareness into each area of our lives. And sometimes it's a little tricky. Sometimes we don't really know how to do it. Sometimes it happens very organically, and that's very, very beautiful. It's very natural. Um, but bringing light on these subjects, I think, is very helpful, and especially because it's something that we don't talk about that often, and it's something that it's not that common to be seen or discussed from the spiritual perspective in today's society. And of course, having the background of being a light worker or being a twin flame or being, just an old soul, it's very different. The approach is very different. And depending on where we are in our awareness and where we are in anchoring our divine consciousness, um, we're going to have a very different perspective on all matters, right? So for you guys that are in the path and that have been with me for a while, I mean, I know some of you are new to the channel and you're so welcome here. I'm so glad you made it. Um, but for those of you who have been a long time with me or longer or have had healings with me, you know that I work and I like to be very thorough and work very profoundly and go into all different layers of who we are. So I like to do the healings that I do and that I facilitate. I like to go into as much spectrums as possible to cover as widely as possible so that we can have um, that result, the result of that healing in the physical, but we're also addressing the matter in all dimensions where it's originating from and where it was created. Because as we know, um, we in matter, right, in the third dimension, we are the slowest. We are the slowest of the slow. And the more we go up in frequency, the faster everything goes. And in some dimensions, we manifest instantly, right? So, what we do is that we bring, like, everything that happens in the higher dimensions, we bring it down, and we are basically like a holographic construction, energetic construction of those things that are happening in higher dimensions. So we're just playing everything out in a place or in a dimension where we have space and time. So everything seems to be happening gradually. So with that understanding of our multidimensionality, I want to talk a little bit about how to protect our energy and, well, first of all, what what is our sexual energy, and what does that have to do with, the spiritual journey? How is it seen? And in many traditions, it's seen, of course, in many different ways, but there is one common thread, that is that it is extremely important and extremely um, sacred, right? It is something that our sexual energy, which is basically our life force, in every tradition, there is a methodology to take care of that energy and to use it to harness it for different purposes. So if we see even like the old, um, like combat, martial arts, etc., the energy that they're harnessing is the life force energy, which is called ki, chi, prana. Um, I think in the scientific community now they're starting to call it bioenergy, or bioparticulate. I'm not really sure, but I think it's bioenergy. And of course, the biofield is the aura, right? Which is like the sum of all of the energies that all of the centers in our body create. So that's what makes up our biofield. And in the spiritual community, there's a lot of different information. There's a lot of misinformation as well as to how these energies play out and how it actually works. And for me, as an energy healer, this was something that I had to study and to learn, and that I continue to study and to learn as I grow, as I go, and as I have, you know, a lot of patience, and as I am in service, but also as my vision increases. So when we take information from people who have developed their vision until a certain point, we're going to receive the information until that certain point, right? So we're talking, for example, about the old chakra model, which is we have 7 chakras, and they have different functions. And yes, this is true, but it only goes to that point. It was disconnected. Are we back, guys? Let me know in the chat if you can hear me. I think I froze there for a while. Yes, okay, good. I'm back, okay. Hello, okay, I think we're back. Yes. Okay, so yeah, as I was saying, we have that knowledge, or it's a common knowledge that we have 7 chakras, right, in the physical body. The way that I see it, we have at least 11 major chakras. Okay, these are major chakras in the body. We have like an infinite amount of minor chakras, and also the chakras go into, well, basically they go into infinity, right, through our spiritual channel. Yes, then we have the meridians, and we have all like different channels in the body through which we move energy, let's say. Um, and so also the common knowledge is that every chakra has one color. But living, how would I say it? Well, it's living energy, right? And it has consciousness. Even your body, it's a living consciousness. So the chakras are constantly moving and they're filtering and they're receiving energy, they're filtering energy, and they are always changing and they're always changing their colors. So, and they are multicolored, most of them. So when we see an aura or a biofield, so depending on our mood, depending on how we're feeling, depending on if we are sick or not, all of this may vary. We may even alter the the size of our biofield, the size of our aura, just by thinking consciously about it, because we direct our energy, right? We can put consciousness, or we can direct that living consciousness that is within us. So this is part of what we do when we go into healing, that we start to get to know all of these different aspects. So the point of view that I would have from someone, a patient, is going to be very different from someone else. And even my point of view as a healer, because we all have different ways in which we treat, different ways in which we connect, we have different types of gifts and clairvoyance. Everything is going to vary um, between each person. So what I see is not the same that another healer may see, even though we have, a similar formation, a similar knowledge of things. And we tap into different areas because we are also living consciousness. So we start to interact at a higher frequency and we receive and give information depending on how we are and who we are, right? Okay, so this just to um, put you into the context that everything, and especially in spiritual knowledge, we have like the ancient teachings that are being actualized, and that even healers, spiritual teachers, everyone who is in the path, we are constantly actualizing our knowledge. I can I can even say that from patient to patient, in my personal experience, my knowledge is actualized every single time, because as we develop and as we are in service and as we are, um, yeah, basically serving in that way, we develop all of these gifts, we develop our vision, and we start to receive more information or different information. Sometimes we may even receive information that completely substitutes something that we were working with before. So that is why I always recommend to, whatever you are, to always focus it on the present moment and to evaluate if this is serving you, or if you can, advance or go beyond that knowledge. Or, if you're in a spiritual path, your soul will guide you to the right knowledge, to the right teacher, to the right teachings that you need at that time. But of course, in order to make that leap or to make that step, we have to master that which we were learning to a certain degree. So, in our knowledge of sexual energy in the spiritual world, there have been many different approaches, many different ways. And something that is also changing and that we are actualizing, and that I think is also very important, is that most of those teachings came through men, right? So a lot of these teachings have a lot to do with the energy system of males, which is very different than the energy system of women. And it's also different than the energy system, let's say, of someone who is embodying the two energies already. And this is not, to make like a differentiation, but there is one key factor that makes, in my view, the energy of a woman completely different than the energy of a man, just by mere, physics, because women are able to give birth, to become pregnant, and to have that life. So just because women are the ones who carry that life, who carry, let's say, the spirits into this world, there is a different composition of the energy body or energy fields of women, especially, in the physical, in the closer the dimensions are to the physical body. So that is why also the approach of how to use or harness sexual energy, or how to protect sexual energy, it's a little bit different from if we're talking about men or women. So I just wanted to put that out there. And ultimately, the one important thing about this all is that if we are gaining consciousness and we start to see that, for example, everything where we pay attention, right? Everywhere where we focus our energy, which is our life force energy, everything where we are putting our focus, we are giving it energy. In the traditional shamanic teachings, and this is also, practiced through, many different cultures, and Hinduism and Sikhism and Buddhism, and there's, if you notice, there is a common thread of, and I think even Christianism, of course, there's a common thread about, like, not using your sexual energy but for procreation. So like not having any sexual relationships, but when you are actually creating life. And this is something that was there and has been there in many different cultures. And even, if you see the, great spiritual teachers, and still in today, they are, they're celibate. And there's a reason for this. It has nothing to do with, like we would think, oh, this is for repression, or it's, a puritanical thing. But it has actually to do with energy and how to spare energy. So the shamans in old Mexico, what they found out through vision was that when two people come together, what they say is that there was this like specific glow and energy and vibration to the two people, right? And when they came together, what happens is that they put together their energy, they blend their energy, they come into a fusion of energy. And when the moment of conception comes, these two energies give themselves, let's say, or give way. They come out of the body of the two people, and they come together and they create that third energy. So basically, they saw that shine. They call it the shine of the biofield. That a portion of it actually was, let's say, extracted from the field to create that new energy. And so basically, what they concluded was that having sexual relationships, and especially if you're not going to conceive, you're basically wasting precious life force, because you are giving energy from yourself to the creation of something, but that something is not being created. So you're basically losing energy. And in the whole belief system of the shamans, one of the most important practices is to learn how to spare your energy, because shamans also believe that through our life force energy, through our sexual energy, that is what allows um, a shaman to do lucid dreaming, and to actually go into the astral realms and have all of these different spiritual experiences. So what the shamans back then were doing was basically only using their energy for procreation, and when they went into dream state, they would be able to do all of these amazing things through the astral realms and beyond, right? So this is just one story. You can take it as a story, but there is also through that something that was said was that, of course, most of these shamans that I'm talking about, they were men again, and it's very different the experience that a man has than a woman. In other traditions, it has been taught that, for example, in the Kundalini, the Sikh tradition, it has been taught that the woman can, can have these experiences, and she's always like replenishing herself. Her energy is always emanating from herself, within herself, kind of like the ocean that has all of these waves that are constantly being recycled, let's say. Um, but for the men, because it's something that they basically lose, let's say, out of the body. I'm sorry if I'm being a little bit graphic here. It's just for the understanding of the energies, okay? Because it's something that they lose, let's say, and that goes to waste if it's not used to co-create. It is said that it can even cause certain imbalances in the mind, and it's like a loss of their, like in the Kundalini Sikhism, it's like a loss of their youth, of their life force energy. So most of the men there, they have different practices to not spend their energy where it's not meant to be spent. So basically, when we reduce it to energy, there's a way to to spare the energy and to have more energy. And just laughing, grateful, divine butterfly. And there's a way to actually take care of your energy, and take care of your energy in a way that you can start to use that energy to spiritually evolve. Of course, all of these teachings, they were also meant for, like sages and stuff like that. Like there is also this context where we have to situate ourselves. And there's what I encourage, and what I encourage my students, what I encourage everyone, is that you are your own teacher. Like, we're coming into this age where we are given the chance to master whatever knowledge that we may receive or have or be interested in. We have, you know, we have the opportunity to experience whatever we need to experience, and we have the opportunity to master whatever we need to master for ourselves. So, depending on your personal journey, and depending on, where you are and how you relate to, even to your life force energy, to your sexual energy, there are different ways to express that sexual energy in a healthy way. And there are also ways to harness it in the name of the divine, in the name of communion with the divine, in the name of, expansion. I personally believe that everything has to do with our awareness. So the first thing that we have as a tool when we wake up and we start our spiritual journey is that we become aware, right? That's the moment that we're aware of ourselves, the moment that we start to become aware of our patterns. We start to become aware of our emotions, our feelings, our thoughts. So, this awareness allows us to see what we're dealing with. This awareness itself allows us to begin our healing process, because being aware that I'm not feeling well is already, it's like step one to actually starting to feel better, right? When we start to have this awareness through meditation, through our spiritual practice, whatever it may be, we start to expand our knowledge. We start to connect more with our divine consciousness. And through connecting to our divine consciousness, our knowledge and our awareness gradually expands. So the more it expands, the more we become conscious about many things in our lives, whether it is who we are, what we want, where we're going, what our path is, our purpose, or even just very simple, small things like, oh, this is where I'm self sabotaging right here. Oh, I hadn't noticed that. I was running on autopilot before, but now I know that when this happens, I do this, or this is one of my triggers. The fact that we start to be able to point these things out, this is like the beginning, that this is when the light goes on, and everything that was in the shadows starts to come into the light, to be seen, to be accepted, to be healed if it needs to be healed, and to be acknowledged, and it starts to come to your awareness. From there, when we tap into divine consciousness, we are able to transcend these things that are not serving us. We're able to either heal or transcend, or start create a new reality where these things are no longer part of it. And we start to elevate our frequency purposely or through healing, depending on our journey, or through both. And as we come into higher frequencies, we have access to more awareness, more divine consciousness. So that way we start to expand, expand, expand. And the same happens when, in our spiritual journey, we start to become aware that, for example, oh, meditation is good. Doing my daily practice of yoga or meditation really helps me, or going to see a healer really helps me right now in my journey. Whatever it is that you do. And then that consciousness on its own, because it is the nature of consciousness to illuminate, to expand, it starts to go into different areas of our lives. So we start to say, maybe, we start to be aware that there's a big contrast between when we meditate and when we are feeling good, and when we are, going to a job that we may not like. So we become aware of the contrast, and we become aware that maybe this job isn't really satisfying, isn't really, helping my own development, or, you know, this consciousness starts to go into work. Then it starts to go into your family. Then it starts to go into relationships. Then it starts to go into your sex life, of course. It starts to go into the food you eat. It starts to go into the music you listen to. It starts to go everywhere. So it's like when you drop a little pebble in a pond, and these concentric waves start to form, and they start to become bigger and bigger and bigger. So the one little thing that was in the middle, which was your awakening, your awareness, that starts to expand, and it starts to grow into all areas of your life. And it's very important to have that expansion in all areas of our lives, because if we don't, we we only develop partially, and when we develop partially, we are it's more likely that we're still going to be having difficulties, or we're not going to feel as balanced as we would if we develop all aspects of our lives. So when we do that connection to the spiritual development, your spiritual path will take you by the hand, and it will start to guide you through all of these different areas of your life. And it will bring its light and its knowledge and its consciousness, and it will bring you the awareness of all of these things. And so for the part of your sexual energy is not just, you know, what we use when we're, of course, having sexual relationships, um, or when we are like consciously engaging in our sexual energy. Our sexual energy, for example, is all of our creative energy too. So the sexual energy it's basically life force energy that goes through all of our bodies, and depending on um, where we're channeling it, where we're harnessing it, in that area is where it will manifest. So it is completely correlated um, to our consciousness, to our divine consciousness. But we as human beings, can a healing happen through sexual relations? Yes, of course it can. But the most important thing in order for that to happen, and that was like the point where I'm getting at, is that everything that we do when we start to become aware, it has to have um, a clear intention. So if you see in all spiritual traditions, the way that candles are used, the way that we use sage, the way that we use a stillness, a calm place, all of these things are there to set the intention, to provide the not just the frame, the sacred space, but they're also for us to intentionally have a sacred experience, because we are divine consciousness. So if we as divine beings set ourselves up to have a divine experience, guess what? We will. If we do things through the lower mind, through the just like through the animal brain, and we're not tapped into divine consciousness, or we're not even aware of why we're doing what we're doing, well, you know, the level of consciousness in such an act is very, very low. And it's not really, um, you know, we're not really deciding what experience we want to have. So we're not being conscious creators of that experience, but rather we're just acting on it because it was a program, or because it was something that we thought that we should do, or because of many other things. So no matter what you do, when you bring the light of consciousness to it, it will completely change and alter your experience. What's the highest frequency that you can bring to anything? Whether it is, you know, that you're eating a certain food by yourself, you know, the people who bless their food, they're actually, you know, consciously creating a sacred experience for themselves by blessing that food. And through eating that food, they're being blessed by the divine consciousness within them. So a person that eats a blessed food will probably have a very different experience than someone who just eats food without any consciousness at all, or that just eats the food, you know, watching TV or not even paying attention, and all of a sudden the person ate the food and they weren't even aware that they were eating the food. So similarly, when we bring the frequency of love to sexual relationships, And especially when the two parties involved bring the energy of love and the intention of love, the intention of healing, the intention of seeing the divine consciousness within each other, of melding into the divine consciousness of each other, of being protected. When we bring all of these intentions into that act, it completely changes the experience. And it can be an incredible, healing, um, beautiful experience, because in the end we are we are basically feeling the oneness with the other. And if we bring the divine consciousness to that act, we are feeling the oneness with all, and with God, and with the partner. But we have to be very aware, especially nowadays, like who you choose to have as a partner for this, because many times we go into these relationships because, especially today in the Western world, it has been, so um, made something so common, like something so ordinary, or so normal, which of course it is normal. Everything is normal, but the experience of having, from having a normal experience to having a conscious experience is huge in everything that you do, not just in this particular aspect. But in this particular aspect, one of the things that I see is that men and women suffer a lot because they are not aware of the importance of this act, and the importance, the important effects that it can have on their energetic bodies and systems, especially if you're engaging in a relationship where the frequency is anything below, um, consciousness and love. I mean, love is, the highest and the most beautiful, let's say, or the most, healing. But there are other frequencies that are also not as bad as, for example, if we're coming from fear, or from regret, or from, just, there are so many distortions that have been created through that. Oh, are we back? Okay, I think I was reconnecting. Yes. So wonderful, guys. So I see many men, for example, suffering in this like eternal loop of going through women and women and women, and having these relationships and never having, a sacred experience, or never having the feeling of being fulfilled. So it becomes sort of this addiction, right? Just as anything in the world can become an addiction, or it can become um, something rather unhealthy, right? So the thing that changes something from being unhealthy and from being, an addiction, then from being something beautiful and sacred and healing, is the level of consciousness in which we are engaging in these actions. Because a conscious, someone that is bringing that divine consciousness into every act, of course, this is not something that we are trained to do, and many times we go into different things because we think that that's societally normal, or because our friends are doing that, or because, people are doing that. But as sensitive beings, I can tell you that having a not so good sexual experience with someone can be so taxing on your energy field, on your energy body, on your physical body, your psyche, your emotions, and it just goes everywhere. Um, there are also many energy vampires out there that they're not even conscious that they're energy vampires, but especially like if you see these men or women that go from one sexual relationship to another, to another, to another, they're basically feeding off of the sexual energy of the partners that they have. And this is something that I have seen like many times and through many of my patients where the patient will come and say, I don't know what happened, but I feel completely depleted after being with this person, and I feel completely drained, and I have no life force energy. So what happens when you engage with someone who is in a lower frequency? First of all, you don't know what that person is carrying in their energy field. You don't know what they're connected to. Especially if they're not spiritual at all, they have no, it's basically like being with someone who hasn't taken a shower in a very, very, very long time. I don't mean this to sound like weird, but meditation is like a spiritual shower. When we meditate, we we take all of the denser energies, all of the lower energies, we purify all of our energy systems. So if someone is not aware and they are constantly with different people, or they are in this perhaps lower vibration, and not to start categorizing people for their frequency, but if they're just not acting in the light of awareness in their life, and you will know that there's a bigger chance that they are connected to all sorts of energies, that they have all sorts of trauma and drama going on in their energy field. And guess what? When you come into sexual relationship with them, your energy field and their energy field will merge, literally. So if your field was very clear and clean, and you were meditating, you were feeling good, you were feeling happy, full of love, and you're all about giving love and receiving love, and they are in an energy field where they're perhaps just wanting things for themselves, and they are healing, or they have addictions, or they have a lot of problems, or they're stressed all the time, they're in this completely different vibration, you come together, and guess what happens? You lovingly give them all of this loving, beautiful energy that they gladly take, and they perhaps even feel very good after that. And you receive all of their trauma, drama, tears, and even these cords to them, that you start to experience their stress, their trauma, their drama, and you feel depleted, and you feel tired, and you feel sad and betrayed and confused afterwards. So, if this sounds familiar, or you have experienced this, it's okay. Like it's nothing that can't be healed, but it's something to be very mindful of. When I was seeing a lot of male patients in recent years, one of my advices, especially when they weren't really awake in the spiritual journey, and they weren't really practicing so many like spiritual things, or meditating, or having regular practices to keep their energies clear, etc., one of the things that I would say was, if you are going to have any like sexual relationships, at least make sure that you have it with someone who's spiritual. Like that was my like the lesser damage advice for people that weren't maybe ready yet to completely change their ways. And of course, from that to identifying someone who has, any kind of spiritual practice, and depending on how they manage their spiritual practice, that's another thing. But at least in that way, it was like my advice to say, at least you would be engaging with someone who has their field clean. If at least they do meditation, at least they're connected to God, at least hopefully they're not going to suck on your life force energy, etc. So that was like the lesser damage advice. But here with you guys, that you are you're more conscious about many things already, and I want to bring a little bit more depth and insight to this. And sometimes these are things that our soul is telling us, that we are intuitively feeling, and especially women, because as women, or any sensitive being, really, it doesn't matter what gender, but if you're sensitive enough, of course, the more sensitive you are, if you're sensitive to energies, imagine how sensitive you are to sharing your energy field with someone. Like, that's a big one. you know so it is something that is very important to consider. And especially, people, or my students who tell me, oh, I want to have more vision, and I want to have more clairsentience and clairvoyance. Be careful what you ask for, guys. Because when you start to become more sensitive, more clairvoyant, more aware of things, guess what happens, in these areas of life? You start to see more, you start to perceive more. And a sexual energy is one of the most, one of the strongest energies that we hold. And someone holding a strong sexual energy is very, very evident. Clairvoyantly, it's very evident. Um, even sensitively, like, you can sense when someone is holding like a strong sexual energy. So the more we become sensitive, the more we have to be aware in what we are engaging. Yes, dear Earth Angel. And also, of course, for Twin Flames, that's like a whole, topic in it, in itself. But it's the same principles apply. So the more vision you have, you can see. Okay, just to give you an idea, if you're seeing and aware in vision, and if that partner had relationships to other people, you're even able to feel the energies of all the people that person was with. And that's not a really nice thing to feel, right? That's not something that, most of the people are like, oh, I want to be with you, and I want to feel, or to see and perceive in flesh and everything, all the people that were there. No, we don't want to do that, and we don't need the drama and the trauma of those people either. And we also don't want to bring the trauma and the drama of our own experiences in relationships to our partners, right? So that is why we heal those connections. That is why we do deep healing. And we also, yes, we can clear and we can heal this, James. That's the very good thing. Also, depending on the experience and on the relationship you had, like, most of the, let's say, the energetic cords that we have, and even the energetic memories that we hold in our organs and in our bodies and in our fields, because, if it's in your physical body, it's in your field. This is why, for example, many times when, men and women come into relationship that is actually based on love, and they come together in sexual union, what happens many times is that either one or both, after the experience, they may even cry or have these emotional releases. And this is especially true for women, because as women we tend to um, save so much information in our sexual organs, especially the womb. And these memories are not just from this lifetime, they are from previous lifetimes. They are from previous lovers, from all kinds of different timelines and places. And it's like we hold the memory of the world there, which of course it's a very beautiful thing if we're able to clear all of the density out and just hold on to the wisdom that we are needing right now. But for men, and they also have this it's not like a womb, but it's you could imagine it as like an etheric sort of womb, and below the navel, and that's also a part where a lot of information is saved. And of course in the tissues, of course everywhere in our body, we're able to save information, and especially if we have traumatic or pain or scare or life-threatening situations. All of this, for example, when I do healing on someone, we are able to feel that. And yes, sometimes it's very close to the body, but sometimes the trauma or the encapsulated energy, it can even be a sadness, a grief, a pain, a sorrow. You can have tears and holes in your aura from these experiences, and they can be as far as 3 meters away from you. Even father and mother wound can be like 1 meter away from your physical body. It doesn't have to be in the physical body. Remember that we are multidimensional beings. So when we come together with another multidimensional being, guess what? We're also fusing with their timelines and with the trauma of their timelines. So I don't want to overwhelm you and be like, oh my God, it's not that bad. I mean, of course, the less sensitive you are, the less you're able to feel these things. But the more sensitive you are, and the more you go in your spiritual journey, the more sensitive you will become to all of these things. Now, the good thing is that also, the more sensitive you become to all of these things, the more sensitive you become to that experience of being one with God, and being in that, having that Hieros Gamos experience where you just become one with everything. So that's also very beautiful, and that's like the upside of all of this. But of course, in a world that is more, that is based on polarity, and that we have all of these kinds of experiences, most of the time that hypersensitivity has to be treated differently. So the same way as you perhaps have changed the way you eat, the way you listen to certain things, I would always recommend to be open to your inner guidance as to how have your sexual experiences changed, or is there somewhere where you could change them in order to be empowered and to bring more of this divine consciousness into these experiences as well. And especially when we as sensitive beings engage with people who are not conscious, who are not healing, who are not consciously healing and doing their work, it's basically like jumping into a pool of all kinds of things. And it's like setting ourselves up for pain or drama, or it may not even be drama, but you know, even it could be like just sadness, or just an experience that is not fulfilling, or that is not, sacred. So my advice for all of this is to make sure that you are in the energy of love, and that you're able to trust the person that you're with, that you're able um, to trust each other. You know, at least that you're able to trust each other, and that you're able to be in a frequency of sacredness, if possible, of love, if possible, of course. Like, that would be the better. And if not, I would really, like, think about it. If you truly want to engage in a situation that is not going to bring you this, or that doesn't hold that energy within itself. And of course, this applies especially if you have known the person more. But I always say, if you're getting to know someone, if you're dating, that's what dates are for, right? That's what we're learning, who the other person is. So it's very, very important that you get to know, um, the level of consciousness where the other person is, and all of the things that you need to know in order to feel safe, and in order to be able to trust them. Because it is a sacred experience. It's like one of the most sacred experiences that we can have, when we actually blend our energies with someone else. And if it's not based on love and consciousness, then it can be something very dangerous in a way, for our energy being, for our body, for our mind, for our heart, for our soul, for every part of us. So, of course, everything I say, take it with a grain of salt. um, Everything you can assess and discern through your own life experiences. But if anything that I'm saying resonates, why don't you try it out, and try to see, how can I make my experiences even more sacred? How can I set myself up for sacredness, and for love, and for divinity, rather than setting myself up for pain? um, okay. And especially also for women, now going into energetics of the woman, there is yes, Spirit, Earth Angel. There is something else that happens for us energetically, which is that every person that we are with sexually basically kind of leaves an imprint in our arc line, in a part of our energetic self. So it's like let's say like an imprint, like a fingerprint of that person that with which we were at a given time, right? So this is something that we can heal, and this also for all the men out there listening, or for all divine masculines, um, which I hope this gets to a lot of them, because I think it's very important. Um, so this is one of the reasons why, and of course the whole biology of course also plays a part, but it's more likely that the woman will feel very impacted by any sexual relationship, whether it was good or bad, whether it was with a person they loved or not. Like, the impact that it has on the physical body and on the energetic body of a woman is is stronger than the physical impact that the energy field of a woman has in a male body, let's say. So for women, it's very important that you always choose very carefully how you are using your energy and how you're engaging with, if you engage with someone else. Um, and in that, I know that there's a part of, a lot of, well, the way that I feel is like there's like a lot of pain and sorrow and suffering from all the experiences that perhaps weren't the best. And there's also, a much bigger like history of sexual abuse in women than in men. Of course, in men, it's also there. This is something that we have to address, both men and women. Um, but the also the energetic imprint and just all of this knowledge that is coming down to us because we incarnated as women in this lifetime, that is something that in and of itself is very very strong, and that is why all of these circles of women started to come up, and womb healing and all these like specific healings for women because of all of that trauma. However, there's also a lot of things in these circles, and I always recommend that you go by your own guidance of, you have to go and heal all of your past lifetimes in one session with someone and go have all these past life regression things. No, it just means that you have all of the healing potential within you, and you have all of these perhaps ancestral wounds also within you, right? So when they come up, that's when they're needed to be healed. So if shame is coming up, if guilt is coming up, if any of these emotions or sensations, or even closeness or numbness, or being even close to all of these, still that story. And there, this is disconnected. Um, hello. No. Oh, I think we're back. Yay. Okay, wonderful. In the chat, I have experience with her head. How do we remove those imprints? Okay. So we're going to do a healing today. I also, it's in the channel and also in my website, especially for women to heal the womb, etc. I will be creating, I think, a new one for both, but we will do some of that healing today. And in that, you can use this part of the session, you can use this part of the healing for now to start to address this. And like I said before, it's not something that you need to clear everything right now. It's actually more of, okay, now that I'm conscious about this, now I can start to take care of myself better. I can start to take care of my sexual energy better. And the other part that I was going to, it's a little bit long, but there are ways to use our sexual energy in very healthy ways that actually create healing for us. So when you are expressing yourself creatively, use your creative muscles, let's say, and you express yourself in a creative way in this world, no matter what it is, whether you paint or you sing or you do, whatever that it is creative, you collage, or I know I'm only mentioning things from the art world because, that's where I come from, but anything, you play an instrument or you redecorate your home, whatever that allows you to bring that creative force, that actually, it's not just, oh, have a hobby. No, engaging in your creative energy consciously, and you can even dedicate that hour that you're engaging with your creative energy, even, for example, dancing. That also involves, the body, which is very, very beautiful. I actually had one of my, well, that wasn't my first, but it was a very deep spiritual experience while I was dancing salsa. And I don't know if many of you know, but I love salsa dancing since I was a kid. And here, where I grew up, it's a coast, the Pacific coast of Mexico. So everybody knows how to dance salsa. Everybody dances, and you would go to, birthdays very, very little. And I remember one of my first experiences of, completely merging with oneness and being in this total like bliss, or a moment of ecstasy that they call, or which is basically dissolving into the nothingness, or nirvana, however you want to call it. One of those moments that I had was while I was dancing salsa, and I was so tired already that like my Are we back, guys? Okay. Oh my god. Yeah, it's reconnecting. Oh no. Let me just, I'm going to move, maybe. If I move. Okay, let me know if you guys can hear me. Yes, okay. So, as I was saying, I was twirling and I had this moment where I actually dissolved, like my body completely. Yes, salsa. So, we can have all sorts of spiritual experiences and even ecstatic experiences, which, it's just, they're just part of our human experience. But we have been told for so long that we are not magical, that we're not spiritual, that we are not, that we're just flesh and bone. And all of this programming is actually what has made most of the things that we do as humans to seem so mundane and so ordinary, when in reality, the more aware we are of things, the more aware we are of spirit and of divinity and the divine consciousness within us, we start to awaken to the fact that, wait a minute, I'm actually a magical being. And I'm actually super sensitive to these things. And I'm Are we back, guys? Oh my god. This is becoming worse. Let me see if I move. we can get the connection going. Oh, I think we're back. Yay. Yes, darlings. And you know, that's the most important thing that we need to take into our realities, that if we are sensitive beings, if we are magical beings, okay, are we back? I'm back? Yes, okay. Wonderful. I'm sorry for the noise in the background. I moved to a place where there's usually better signal, but it's a little loud, so. Well, anyway, just to finish the point, the more aware we become that we are divine beings and magical beings, there also comes a responsibility with that. The same thing is true for any healer, for any coach, leader, anyone who is serving spirit and serving others. There is a responsibility that comes with it, right? So it affects all of the areas of our lives. So this part is just one of them. And thank you, dear Allison, for your super chat. Thank you so much. Just saw it. Yes, I'm not in the hallway, I swear. Let me know if you guys can hear me. If not, I think I will have to do something. You can hear me. All right, wonderful. Oh, perfect. Good. I thought I was speaking to the air. Oh, great. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Allison. And thank you for your patience. Okay, so going back to the healing part. Because of the connection, I think what we're going to do is I'm going to record a healing for you guys. I mean, for everybody. I ask that right now, that like everything that you need to receive for today, that it is sent your way. But I'm going to record a precise healing for any of these, sexual wounds, imprints, trauma, and clearing for the field, and also especially for energetically sensitive beings. And I will post it on the channel, okay, tomorrow. And I think it will be more effective, because I don't want to do a healing where I'm going to be cutting off, and I don't want to like lose you guys there in the in the other dimensions. Okay. But let me know for now if you have any questions of what we talked about here today, or if there's anything that you would like to ask me. I'm open for those questions. Oh, and I think there were 2 questions. Oh, Craig says, how do I contact you? You can send me an email, darling, at, I think it's on the description box, but if not, it's ekonkar7@gmail.com. Okay. Sometimes it takes me a little bit to get to answer to everyone, but I try to do it within a week or so. Yes, Earth Angel. Thank you for sharing that. And for everyone who is live, I also want to share that I have been, um, you're so welcome, James. I have been preparing a lot of things for you guys behind the curtains. Um, I actually just started doing a round of interviews, and it's one of the things that I'm most excited about, that through my program Brave, I contacted a lot of my personal spiritual teachers from all walks of life, from different countries, and I'm actually going to be sharing, and they're actually going to be sharing their knowledge, their wisdom with you guys in these interviews that I have been recording. So I have been doing a lot of that, thinking about you, thinking about how to bring more understanding of this spiritual journey and different perspectives, so that you also have different tools and different approaches to choose your own path and to complement your own path. Okay. Yes. Allison says, okay. Okay, just laughing at Craig's. I've been experiencing a lot of pressure to discover my mid-back hair. Curious what you might say. Oh yeah, that has to do a lot with, well, of course, the base and everything is your safety, security. I don't know if you ground, dear Allison, but I would recommend you, like, instead of grounding through your, I don't know if you do that, but if you ground through your root chakra, I would say try to open up your spinal column, like to send down whatever you are processing, whatever debris, whatever is coming out to be healed through your spinal column, and your root and your feet, and activate the soles of your feet. We have soles, we have soul chakras in the feet. So if you can activate that while you're meditating, and even you can put your feet in a bucket of water with salt, with lots of salt, and that will allow you to release if there are any stagnant energies there, which I think that's probably where the discomfort is coming from. Okay. Okay, Jennifer says, can the energy be channeled for healing versus creative? Yes, Jennifer, but, oh yes, I didn't finish my point about the creative energy. I'm sorry, I went on a tangent there. The healing, you are activating a lot, well, depending on what type of healing you do. But if it's any kind of energy healing, you're activating a lot all of your upper chakras. So, everything from the navel up. So when we use the creative energy, we actually allow all of the energy to flow from the lower centers of energy to the higher. So it does the whole, let's say, the whole tour. And what happens is that we create this flow where we actually become like a circle, like the energy starts to flow in a circle, and we become very, very grounded. When we do healing, a part of us is grounded, of course, and especially if you do your practice correctly, but you are mostly accessing the higher dimensions, so it's not really grounding. You're still working, well, depending on how you work, but if you work energetically, you're still working in the higher dimensions, which will not have the same effect like doing something creative where you're actually, engaging in the physical dimension. You're actually bringing the energy down from those higher centers to that inspiration, that input, and you're bringing it down, grounding it, materializing it. And this is very important now too. Like, I have been seeing that in different realms, but the more we engage in our creative energy, the more we are able to ground and feel safe in this world. And some people say, oh, well, walk barefoot, or hug a tree, and these things are beautiful. But when we actually engage in our creative energy, we can expand our grounding roots. Let's say we expand our magnetic roots in the earth, and we feel more safe, and we actually bring in more abundance, more joy, more freedom, because we feel safe on earth. So we feel safe to manifest. And it's also one of the most beautiful ways to use that sexual energy through that creation, because sexual energy, it's meant to create. You're meant to create the world, the cosmos, a living being. So when you use it to create something beautiful, or whatever you consider, it's kind of like a very it can have a very, very healing effect on you. So if you're usually like healing, when we heal, of course we channel energy, but I wouldn't channel your life force energy for healing. Never. You channel the divine's energy. You channel the energy coming directly from source. You never use your own life force energy to heal someone else. You can use your connection to source to heal yourself, and you can use your life force energy maybe to direct your energy to certain parts that need healing. But I would always, when you're doing healing, always connect to God, and connect to the divine, connect to the infinite source, and bring the energy down from there, never from you. Okay. So I don't know if that answers your question, dear. Okay. Yes. Also, overstimulation is something that we may have, especially due to all of the electronics that we use nowadays. So, the more you can go, for example, this is for Craig, if you can go into nature and just tapping into the energy of the divine and allow her to like cradle you, that will start to give you more peace and calmness. Or even watching something that is very still, or like connecting to something that has that calm energy, and consciously becoming that energy, or translating that energy into your field. That may help. And of course, like, if you can do any kind of exercise, movement to release the excess energy, that will also be very good. And especially for all of you guys who meditate out there, and if you're having this effect of not being able to sleep, or having too much energy, or if you're usually a person who has too much energy, try to engage in physical activities that allow you to relax. And there are different techniques that we can talk about. If this is a subject, let me know for the next Ask Lana. Yes. And this is true also for anyone who is sensitive. Like, we need different things, and sometimes the environments where we were, sometimes we need to really change and adjust. But trust that, it will come if you need to change, or you can ask God, your angels, to help you manifest that, perhaps a better situation, a better living situation that is more aligned with your frequencies now as well. Yeah. Okay. Okay, guys, so why don't we do a 10-minute just to wind down and just to give you a little bit of, of a healing and to release. I'm going to move again because it's very loud for me to do the healing here. Oh, Craig, thank you. You're amazing too. All of you guys are amazing. I mean, I'm so happy that you're here and that. And remember that every time we come together, we help each other heal too. So we are creating this vortex of energy and we become very, very powerful as one. Okay, so let's hope this connection remains. Okay. Yeah, my neighbors. Okay. Well, let's try now and see if we can do at least these 10 minutes of healing. Okay. So let's just start to breathe in deeply. Starting to relax. The mind, allowing all of your body to relax. Taking a deep breath into the belly, the center of your heart. Starting to feel your heart your womb column. Starting to see a very beautiful pink light igniting through all of your spinal column. And we're also receiving the energy from your spirit mothers and spirit fathers. And just a side note, if you yes, if you stop listening to me, it's okay. We're still working on you. Don't worry about it. Just close your eyes and receive. I'm just describing what we're doing, but you're receiving it anyway. So we're starting to clear from the father connection and the mother connection. We're seeing beautiful blue, very light blue, and also aqua. Different types, different shades of blue, light blue coming in, establishing new connections, nurturing your field, and washing away as if they were energetic rivers, washing any energy that was stagnant in any part of your field, any encapsulated pain, sorrow, suffering, trauma, shock. Calling in the transformative powers of the light, calling in the miracle light, all the angelic teams. And they're coming in to assist each and every one of you to release any of the old trauma related to sexuality, to any sexual encounters, anything that has come up in order to heal through this session, through this knowledge, through the awareness. And we're starting to sweep that with these rivers of light. And all the density, all of these energies, even all of the energies that are not yours, any cords, any arrows, any seals, anything at all, even any permissions that are not for your highest good. We're clearing these, just allowing the powerful energy of the divine to wash away, disintegrate, disintegrate, disintegrate all of these energy cloisters. Chen hai bao to mondera la hale hatakim bao to ale bare hamhawa. And we're starting to clear also mind control, manipulation, mind games, programs, anything that was detrimental to your health, to your well-being, to your emotional, mental, physical, spiritual health, happiness, peace, releasing. We're clearing in the brain, clearing any AI, any manipulation devices, any dark energies, entities. Source all healing clear. Tashayo tutumao mai mahawa nyesha nahao kwale talahai baumale taniahai. Clearing from the brain, from the mind. And we're starting to spin this beautiful blue halo around your head, your mind, allowing to release all of these programs, also programming through media, through mainstream media channels, all of the false information, false light, all of the distortion of what divine sexuality is, and how to express yourself in a healthy, divine, and sacred way, in a joyous way, in an organic way to who you are, honoring your divinity. Paingala Shaya. And we're starting to bring golden energy into your field. And if you have a partner or a twin flame, you can call in their higher self now and just invite them if they wish to receive this healing through their higher self. You can also call your soul group, your family, or whoever you want to call in to receive this healing as well. If they receive through their higher self, may they receive only that which is meant for them, for their divine healing, for their divine destiny. Wonderful. Now focus on yourself again. And start to see these beautiful rays of golden light starting to release all like dark clouds from your field. Releasing out of any chakra, any membrane of any chakra, all quadrants of the chakras, inside, outside, around, front and back, going through all of your energetic chakra system, clearing and replacing. Any chakra needs to be cleared and replaced. Bringing quantum healing, understanding, and activating quantum capacity. Bringing holographic healing to the places of you that need this. Shui Pai Mahiatai. Starting to see violet and pink energy coming into your field. Releasing also any curses, any energy from the times of seeing like this is like religion, any timelines of being in these strict religions, crucifixion, even the Templars, releasing any negative, any past karma, we're anchoring in through a very beautiful place. This has to do with the Lemurian timelines, but we're anchoring through a grid in Hawaii, and it's like a beautiful ethereal city of healing, and it's surrounded by greens and aqua tones, turquoise, connecting into this forest there, and activating the healing through the particles of your body, through your cells, through your atoms. We are deprogramming and recoding the cells of your body, releasing any traumatic experiences, any imprints of other fields, any negative energies, even the memory and the repeating of cycles, and bringing in new intelligence to your cells, new frequencies from this beautiful ethereal city. Bringing in frequencies that are specific for you, that serve your blueprint. Bring in codes, new seals, new domain. And there's a new like Stargate connections, Stargate, star alignment, aligning to your divinity, coding into the human brain, into the human cells, miracles, alchemy, and the divine perspective of what divine sexuality is, of what sexuality is, according to your blueprint, according to who you are. Bring all the nurturance, all the healing, and allowing you to release past pain, past sorrow, suffering. We're seeing like a big wave at the ocean, a beautiful wave of light, just washing through the fields and washing through all of humanity, washing through the whole earth. Any distortion, any distorted energies in regards to our sexual energy or sexual life force. And bring divine understanding divine perspective, divine consciousness into each cell of your body, into each particle, into each molecule of earth, of our beloved Mother. Bringing that consciousness through the water, through the air, through the soil, bringing higher frequencies to the earth, safety, bringing truth, bringing the frequency of divine love into each molecule, to each atom, seeing it through your body, through your multidimensionality, and through the earth. As we are one with earth, we are one with all. We are one with the mountains, we are one with the stones, we are one with everything. Just seeing that, seeing these golden rays joining, creating a new frequency, bringing divine love, restoring and repairing all of the frequencies, all of the waves, all of the sounds. It's like bringing all into the appropriate vibration, frequency, resonance, tone, fine-tuning. It's like when we fine-tune the chords, the chords on a guitar or musical instrument. We're bringing everything back into alignment. And they're activating through your third eye, bringing in the energy of the mother into the womb, and bringing the energy of protector through the divine masculine, bringing the conscious light into all divine masculines, to all the masculine energy on this planet. Bring this tenderness, this sweetness, this empathy, this willingness to walk in the other's shoes, raising the vibration, honoring the differences between the feminine and masculine. Honoring the sacredness of the feminine, and the same with the feminine, honoring the divine light of God that comes into the earth, honoring the masculine, honoring all of this process of realignment and awakening, honoring the emotions and the feelings of the masculine, honoring the subtle natures of the masculine energy, and starting to become more aware of the subtle natures, of the intuition of the masculine, honoring their capacity to protect, to nurture, to hold space. And coming to see each other, seeing these two forces coming together as one. Feeling safe, being with each other, feeling safe, being vulnerable with each other, feeling safe by being truthful with one another, expressing through the divine awareness, relating through divine consciousness, establishing new bonds, restructuring, reconciling, redesigning, creating new maps to come together. And this is very emotional. Creating new paths to see each other as equal, as complementary, as one, undivided, and starting to celebrate those points of convergence, starting to celebrate and to bless those points of union within yourself, within your mind, within your energy, and within the energy of all, within the others, within the feminine, within the masculine, within your partners, within your relationships. Bringing that balance and that nurturance to all aspects of you, of your life, your love, your consciousness, your awareness. And we're just merging these aspects, bringing all back into one, feeling the oneness, feeling the love, the devotion, the peace, feeling that everything is exactly as it should be, feeling the stillness of the mind, the heart, the body, feeling how perfect you are together. How much peace there is when both are balanced, coming into divine perfection, divine union. And starting to ripple and reflect this through every cell of your body, allowing you to heal if there's any place in your body that you need to heal right now. If there's any place in your heart that you need to heal, allowing this energy of union and spiral-like motions to permeate through all of your body like a fractal field. We can see the golden Fibonacci spiral organically going through all of your field, creating these swirls of love, of consciousness, of unison, harmony, balance, and peace. And anchoring through your sacredness, anchoring through your roots, anchoring through your ancestry as well, allowing this energy to flow as far and as wide as it needs to heal and repair any damage, anything that is hindering you in your expansion, evolution, growth, and healing in this present moment in time, and in your counterparts. And we're just sealing all through the infinity symbol, sealing through the mind, the heart, the body, through all of the layers of your field, sealing seeing a beautiful infinity symbol on Mother Earth, around Mother Earth. Sealing through God, the feminine and masculine aspects. Sealing through the oneness, through the one point, through infinity, eternity. Activating highest protection available for you now. Highest codes, the highest seals. For you and your union, your beloved, your families, your lineages, your soul group, extended soul group, monad and beyond. May the love of God permeate through all of the layers, through all of your existence. May you receive all of these blessings now. And sealing all. Rainbow light. It is done, it is done. And so it is. Breathing in deeply. Coming into the body slowly, gently. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Breathing in deeply. If you can, drink a glass of water, or if you want to continue in your meditation or relaxation or sleeping even, that's okay. I'm glad we could do the healing in the end. I know it was cutting a little bit there, but you know, everything that we do in the energy realm, it lands there, even if we're having difficulties with the audio. Thank you so much. Thank you, Alice, for your donation. Thank you, Grateful Divine Butterfly. Thank you guys for your donations. You're so kind. That's okay. Oh, you guys are so welcome. You know, this is something that I also wanted to share with you for the ones who are still here and the ones who will listen to this later, that, you know, sometimes I don't use the term twin flame. Lately I have been trying not to use it so much during my healings and meditations and all that, but you know, the ones of you who know me for a longer time, you know that I am, constantly working with this template and working, for the unions of the collective and doing a lot of work on the channel, but also outside. And so, just so you know that there's always a component of feminine and masculine in all the work that I do and that I present to you, because I'm basically kind of coded to work in that way. Um, I just don't bring it up that much because I don't want it to be the the sole focus of um, of everything that we do here, because it is part of it, but we also go way beyond. And I think it's very important to have that perspective and to do a work that is very all around, right? So not focusing just on one aspect, but of course that all aspects are an integral part of the all, right? So just so you guys know, that even if I don't state that we are doing like twin flame healing and things like that, also because of the whole distortions that are coming through that name. And um, but either way, if I say it or not, we're always working through that template, and those of you who are in that journey will work on it. Those who are not, you know it just will slide. So there we go. But still, like, even outside the twin flame template, we're also working always with the masculine and feminine, sacred masculine and feminine. Okay? It's just having a little bit of a broader, holding a broader scope of the same thing, but just making it a little bit um, from a broader perspective, if that makes sense. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. I love you guys. Yes, exactly, Alice. Um, so I will be posting new healings, and I will try to continue to do this every Saturday. If not Saturday, then Sunday. But so you guys know that we have a place to heal and to come together um, every weekend, okay? And we can share and heal. And also for anyone that you know that perhaps needs healing, then if they're not able to, have a private session or whatever, these spaces are for that, so that anyone who's really wanting to receive, you can come here and you can ask and you can receive whatever is coming through. Okay. So I thank you guys for sharing this, if you feel guided to share. Um, and, I'm here. Also, for those of you who have asked about the Brave program, it's, it's one of the most amazing things that I have done so far. And you will meet some um, of the guests that are there teaching the master classes, which are, my personal teachers. So I will be sharing like a very uh, beautiful part of my own journey with you, and I'm very, very happy and honored to do so. So I will be posting those interviews soon on the channel as well. So keep an eye out for that. And I hope they serve you. And we go into as much detail as possible of how, these spiritual teachers became spiritual teachers, or how they became healers, and how their journeys were. Because that's also one of my missions with Brave, that, everyone sees that everyone has the capacity to develop, their intuition, their gifts, their talents. And we all have the spiritual gifts within us. We are not like, just a few special people who are able to develop them. Everyone has the capacity to develop and to dive in and to co-create and to manifest those magical aspects of you. So sometimes it requires to be brave. That's why my program is called Brave. But it's all worth it. And, you know, I believe in you and I'm here to support you. Okay? So with that, I will leave you guys for today. I know it's late. So please, you know, stay safe, take care. Okay? I send you lots of love, as always. And I will see you very soon. Thank you. Hi, Anthony. No worries, dear. I know it's very late over there. And everyone, you can listen to the replay, okay? I love you guys. Thank you for being such a beautiful community and for supporting each other. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.